What makes a house a home? Over 8 weeks, 21 homes bursting with style and character are competing to be crowned Home of the Year. Tonight, the judges will visit 3 very different homes, scoring each of them out of 10. The home with the highest score will go through to the final at the end of the series. Looking for functionality, individuality and clever design are design legend Hugh Wallace,
I'm always looking for a homeowner that has an eye for detail.
renowned interior designer Deirdre Whelan,
Materials in a home need to be practical, but you also need to have tactility.
and award-winning architect Patrick Bradley.
As an architect, I'm obsessed with the layout and how a homeowner brings natural light into a home.
But there can only be one winner. This is Home of the Year. Margaret and Mark Conway split their time between England and Ireland. Their Irish home is a contemporary house overlooking Fastnet Rock Lighthouse.
There was a bungalow on the site, and that was our house for 14 years. In 2014, we took the step of saying, let's do something radical, and we knocked it to the ground. I think one of the most important things to us as we built this house is that everything is sourced locally.
The people that we were working with are West Cork people. They understand the sea, they understand what we were trying to get at, the fact that it's not a house, it's a whole environment, and it fits in together.
Everything actually comes from the rock. It determined really, didn't it? The colours and where we were going from. We didn't have an interior designer, or we did it ourselves. It's all about actually being inside, looking out, bringing outside in. This is my favourite spot. And the reason I've picked this spot is that it encompasses everything that I love about my home. I mean, look at the view. I'm looking out on stone walls, Montbretia, and I've got the sea down to the right. And I also have the sea behind me. This is the reason why I love this spot.
So that whole big open living area means that people come around and you don't feel any one room is cut off from the others. Upstairs, we got a living room, and then it leads out onto a balcony. Absolutely love that in winter time, where the waves crash up on top of the rocks. It looks lovely. The children are now, well, they're not children anymore, they're grown up, and they come with their friends, and we're hoping that we'll never have to sell this place, and it'll go from us to them, and hopefully even their children.
The judges must now assess the home, armed with only the basic facts about the property and its owners.
Isn't that fantastic?
That is rural modern architecture at its very best. The house just seems to grow out of that site. Absolutely love that.
Dramatic approach to the entrance, isn't it? The fact that you brought around the back between the rock and the new build.
I think you could describe this entrance area as austere because of that huge big limestone wall with very little fenestration in it. And I think that's on purpose. When you open that hall door, I bet we're going to be blown away by the view.
Shall we go?
Let's.
Please.
Impressive, or what?
Breathtaking.
You really get a sense of the architecture when you walk in here. It's like the joint between 2 buildings. So you have the stone building at one end and the plastered building at the other end, and this works very well.
I absolutely love it. And the way they've employed the external fabric to come into the house, I think that works perfectly.
A lovely sunken seating area in what is a very generous open plan living kitchen dining area.
There's different atmospheres and moods going on. It's just the change of materials that gives you the definition of this space as being very comfortable and relaxing.
The very deep oak windowsill that allows you to just enjoy that absolutely magnificent view.
They didn't overemphasize the windows. They've just framed those views perfectly.
One thing I really would change in this room is the positioning of the television. It's really high. If it was much lower down, I think it would be a much better solution.
It would. At the line of the dark slate would be perfect, because then it's in line with the fire and you get that lovely big wall back for some more artwork.
Yeah, I agree.
And here's the favourite spot. You've got the connection between the living room and the kitchen, and you've got those views.
You couldn't get more spectacular than here.
Behind you, you have this extraordinary glass art installation as the backdrop to the kitchen. When you're here preparing your food, looking out at that lighthouse, and you've got the light going around, I think it's quite beautiful.
There's these bifolding doors.
Oh.
It just really adds a completely another dimension to this room. Just brings the outside in.
It's fantastic.
The way they've used external materials to let the house just merge into the site. And I think that is a very key point when you're designing rural architecture.
They're really trying to embrace the spectacular views they have, and when the weather is good like it is today, magical.
A well-designed house can be very easily read. It's very important. They're designed to fit, to orientate, and to suit the client's brief. And I think this house ticks every box.
Very dramatic light.
Extraordinary.
Impressive bedroom.
Very elegant.
I really love the location of the bed, taking in that view out through this corner window, and it works so well. The angle of the window hides away all the houses, which is a private view in front of.
The people who own it really understand the importance of the orientation, not only to take the view, but also to get the sun into the home.
Heaven.
What I do really like is the curtains, the kind of linen fabric, and the way it's just almost like a tie-dye effect from the mustard to the green. Really nice, elegant head detail, a simple track, and it really complements the home.
The functions of the home have been separated. So you've got a living area and a bedroom area. One activity doesn't disturb the other. So that's a very clever piece of design.
The home will now be marked out of 10. One score will be held back until the judges have seen all 3 homes, when their combined scores will be revealed.
This is a spectacular home in a spectacular setting. You get a sense that the owners really appreciate and enjoy their surroundings. This is a great home, and I'm going to give it an 8.
The simplicity of this house and its architectural form of 2 buildings linked together by the hall is a very clever piece of design. This is a marvellous home which has taken full advantage of its location. I'm giving it a 9.
This home is breathtaking, beautifully merged into the surrounding landscape with its clever use of materials, and takes full advantage of this site's stunning sea views.
Katrina Carroll lives with her husband Adam and daughter Nancy in a self-styled semi-detached home in Dublin.
It took us around 4 months to do the renovations, and then we moved in.
Oh, it was amazing the first day we moved in.
Yeah.
It's just, we were so excited to have our own
it was
place.
Great. Yeah,
our own
it's
space.
such a great feeling. The style of our home is very vintage, it's very old school. I'm a very old soul, so I love anything with a bit of a story, a bit of a history, anything to do with charity shops or flea markets. I just absolutely love, and I have to have it.
She does ask my advice, but she doesn't listen. If I don't like something and she does, it goes into the house.
Stop saying that. No, don't say that. We have so many things from so many different aspects from our family. There's a frame wall that is just black and white photos of our families as we were growing up and when they were growing up. And also I have a few ceramics from my granddad when he was alive. So it's nice to have them in the kitchen because you see these things and they automatically pop into your mind. So this is our favourite spot in the house. We've chosen this room because it's really where me and Adam get our time together. We put our feet up and relax. When Nancy's in bed, we just get to watch a bit of TV. The room is just a really special room to us that we love, and it's just full of little memories.
When you park outside, it's just a lovely feeling to walk in and know this is yours.
It's a place where you feel safe. He's very supportive of any ideas I come up with that I have to, let's do this, and he always has his reservations, but then it always works out well.
Whatever makes her happy, you know?
It's a lovely semi-detached house, and it's really nice to see the way they brought all the original features back. It's very inviting.
Very curious to see what the rest of the house is going to look like.
And a bicycle for you. You just look fantastic on that
I ride
bicycle.
one every day. Whoa. Look at this now. This is magical, isn't it?
I just adore the little hand mirrors and the mirror in the centre. I'd say that's an original door, which has been salvaged.
And that bold statement of the graphic bringing you up the stairs, really great.
But it's quite nice that the homeowners have opened up the wall, which leads you straight into the kitchen. Can we go take a look?
Come on.
Wonderful. Oh.
A small, lovely traditional kitchen.
Great colours in this kitchen. They're quite subdued. The tiles look as if they're glass, and they're all uneven, reconditioned and reused furniture. And then it's personalised, which I think is great, you know? Lovely man-made countertops, so it looks like granite, but very functional and serviceable. For a small space, I think they've done an awful lot.
What I do have some concern about is the lighting at night time. There's just one centre light and there don't appear to be any lights underneath the cupboards. I think you'd struggle a bit in the sink area.
I agree.
Yeah. Ooh, gosh. Here we have their favourite spot. And I would say they absolutely love coming in here, just chilling out at the end of a busy day, and maybe on a Friday night, a little cocktail.
It's a different vibe from the rest of the house. You just know this is the parents' room of the house, it's the living room. I think this just works perfectly as a good room.
Talent of this person to
Yes.
put such abstract things together into a fabulous piece of art. The only thing I think that's lacking in this room is a lovely big rug.
Yes,
I
I
think it
agree.
would have softened the room. But we do have a sheepskin.
As long as it's not my sheet. It was nice to see the homeowners put their own personal stamp in this house, but at times it was just a wee bit fussy for me.
And here we are in Nancy's bedroom. Isn't she a lucky girl? Her toys and her teddy bears. The owners here are quite extraordinary because they upcycle everything. This unit, I'm sure, was some nasty little timber veneered, and all of a sudden it's painted matte, which hides little blemishes, and you have these gold handles.
Yes, and even the application of the gold dots on the wall. It's such a simple thing to do, but it just lifts this room. And then the lovely string of little fairy lights. I'd say this room is just magical at night.
These rooms tend to be quite constrained, but I think they've made it work very well for Nancy.
Yeah, lovely little room.
Yeah.
The homeowners here have their own individual personal style, and you get the feeling they are very comfortable living here. At times, the interior design was a bit too much for me, but overall, it was a fun and happy home. I am giving it a 7.
This is such a fun home, filled with creativity and colour. There's a lovely freshness to it, not over-cluttered, just bright and quirky to beat. I'm going to give this home an 8.
The family have used their creativity and design style to transform this semi-detached house into a fun, retro-style family home.
Online interiors entrepreneur Emma Lynch lives with her family in a renovated bungalow in Wicklow.
My grandparents owned it for approximately 50 years. It hadn't been lived in for a number of years. I was very excited to give it a new facelift. The original houses, they were very much individual rooms, and that was the way we used to live. But I knew with the young family, I wanted it to be very open plan, and I always wanted a playroom off the kitchen. So I swapped the whole living space around. I changed the kitchen into the dining room, the old utility room into the kitchen, the old dining room into the playroom, and then I kept the living space as is. I suppose the main structural work was in the living space, taking down walls, taking out the back of the house, so we're able to see the beautiful garden and have light on both sides of the living space. I've chosen this chair as my favourite spot. It's the most relaxing space in the house. In the morning time, you can see the sun rise, slide back the door, listen to the sea and have your coffee, and it's just bliss. I chose the style purely because there's so much light here. I couldn't have put heavy colours and heavy interiors. I just wanted it to feel very much like you're by the sea, but without the twee theme. The house makes me feel uplifted, and I never feel lonely because the sea's always there and the view's always changing. And because the kids love it so much, that makes it a really happy home. They have the forest behind them, they have the beach in front of them, and then they're surrounded by this big, big garden just to completely explore. I spent all my summers and weekends here as a child. It's just great for my kids now to experience the outdoor living that I experienced. It's a magical house and place to grow up.
Very nice. A lovely bungalow set in the landscape.
Beautiful setting, actually.
It's great because you've got this elevated position, so you've got beautiful views of the sea. They also understand the orientation of their house, so you've got this seated area for the sun in the evening. How perfect.
Absolutely, and I love the fact that the front door is on the side. They've got a big window in the hall that allows you that fantastic view.
Even though it's not an architectural statement, it doesn't mean to say it cannot be a beautiful home. So I'm really looking forward to see what's inside.
Let's go in.
Yeah. Oh, very nice indeed.
They've actually remodeled the house. You've got connections straight through the house, and you've got a picture frame, just a beautiful view.
Very nice layout. Love the big wood burner stove. Beautiful light oak herringbone floor. It's a real seaside feeling that they've created in this home, and it looks great.
And we've come into the dining area, which is nicely located because it separates the living room from the kitchen, but it's also linked to that great little patio area which faces west.
Love the fact that you've got the salvaged table, lovely chairs with hemp upholstery in the upper part of the chairs, no curtains at all, so lovely crisp feeling.
And the light is terrific because you just get this warm glow over the dining room table, which works so well. I think a small amount of colour had been introduced in here, even in the lampshades, it would have lifted this room.
A splash of colour, I don't think is needed in this room. It's got lovely calmness to it.
I really like the colours and the tones in this home. It made me feel very relaxed and very at ease.
Very beautiful kitchen. They've still connected both sides of the house, and I think that is a very nice feature.
Beautiful colour tone. They've gone for a dark grey and then a lighter tone for other elements in the kitchen. Very nice marble countertops. You really feel like you're at the helm of the house. 3 little bears, is that us?
That's it, a little seat each.
There's one for you, Patrick.
Look, and all your little toys.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig, baby.
Wonderful playroom. The amount of light that you have in here.
I think the kids got the best view.
If you notice, there's no blue in this home. The owners have been really subtle in creating a seaside home with a seaside feeling. I wasn't expecting this now, but this is a nice surprise.
Different functions going on. We've got the bedroom area, bathroom, walk-in wardrobe, and then we have shelves for books.
They've worked with the space in which they have. What I don't like is the minute you enter the room, you're seeing the bathroom fittings.
I like, in fact, the separation between the bathroom and the bedroom, as you said, but the WC is in here, which I just think is a little bit impractical.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. I think the double sink is a lovely idea. 2 individual mirrors, the way it's lit.
The partition wall is quite clever because it lets the light flood over the wall and makes this a lot brighter.
I think this ensuite looks really well, but there are practical elements that are not resolved.
A really lovely bedroom. These large windows just flooding the light in. So much more refreshing in here.
The walls, the ceilings are white, like what we've seen everywhere else. The bed composition is absolutely gorgeous, and just the little pops of colour in the cushions. There's a real freshness to this room. I'd say it's a lovely room to wake up in.
And their favourite spot? Sitting here, you can see why. You can talk to your beloved in the bed and then watching the sunrise in the distance over the horizon.
Absolutely, and I think the pillow says it all.
What does it say, Deirdre?
Let your heart sing.
How perfect. Every morning, you know, we'll wake up and sing our hearts out.
Oh, you can do the singing.
Love the layout of the living areas and the owner's understanding of the orientation of this house to maximise the use of natural light and those terrific views. I would like to see the use of some bolder colours, as it would have given the edge to this charming family home. I'm giving it a 7.
This 1950s bungalow has a new chapter in its life. With simple alterations and the homeowner's mellow style, they've created a very relaxing and peaceful home. I'm giving it an 8.
This is a fabulous family home. The interior reflects its seaside setting. For me, it's the way the owners have used very simple colours and beautiful textures.
Now that the judges have visited all 3 homes, it's time to see how they measure up against each other. First, Patrick reveals what he gave the contemporary home in West Cork.
What I love is the choice of materials that really made this home blend into its site. Took full advantage of those views. I think the flow around the house was absolutely spot on. I think it ticked all the boxes. I give this home a 9.
Good score.
Good score. A 9, a 9 and an 8 gives us a 26.
Next, Hugh reveals his score for the self-styled home in Dublin.
When you walked through that door, there was a consistency of a design style. I would have said from the 60s or 70s. Very confident use of colours. Overall, I just think this is a fabulous home. And I gave it a 9.
It's an excellent score.
A 9, an 8 and a 7, and that gives us a 24.
And finally, Deirdre reveals her score for the renovated bungalow.
I thought there was a lovely style in this home, great textures and lovely fabrics. Overall, I thought this was a really lovely family home, full of tactility, and I gave it a 9.
Very big score.
Yes. I thought it was a lovely home. So that's a 7, 8 and 9. 24.
And we have the winner.
The home through to the final is the contemporary home in West Cork.
Sure you agree, Patrick. Great to see it in the competition.
I love seeing this in the final. It helps give an education of what way you should design in the countryside.
A worthy winner.
Next week, the search continues for Home of the Year.